Hey guys, and welcome to the patch notes for the 16th of May 2018 patch. Sorry about the audio and video. I am in Boston working on a laptop, so bear with me. Anyways, the big changes this patch are the pre-registration for the lawn. You can now create your lawn. You won't be able to play her until next week, but you can create her. A number of new events, and huge sweeping changes to how crowd control works, as well as CC resist and evasion. There's also a number of individual class changes, so let's dive right in. So to start off with, lawn character creation is available now. Create your very own lawn through character creation. There's also a number of events ending. There's a create a lawn and win lawn pre-creation event and customization contest. And a Call of Moonlight Shard challenge has been added. So for those that remember, Call of Moonlight Shard is simply a attendance reward event where you stay online for a couple of hours each day, you get Moonlight Shards, and you can combine them with memory fragments to attempt to get even more memory fragments. It's not a bad event, but it's nothing special. So, the Reigning Enhancement event will become a regular addition to the game. Continue to defeat monsters of each region, and you can continue to get +5 to +15 gear, as well as increased chance at pry and duo accessories dropping from monsters. Do remember that world bosses do not drop enhanced gear, so don't go expecting a enhanced dandelion to drop. It won't happen. So, the big changes this patch are to all classes. The distance a character moves when hit by knockdown or knockback has been reduced. But the huge change is only the first hit of a skill will now apply crowd control effects. Knockdown, floating, bound, knockback, stiffness, stun, and freeze. These effects will not be influenced by evasion. Until now, it was inevitable that no matter how high your crowd control effect stats were, you still felt they weren't doing anything, because how crowd control works in Black Desert is each hit of a skill that applies crowd control applies the effect. And because most skills hit between like 4 and 14 times, that means that even if you resist the first hit, you still have to resist each subsequent hit, which at 10 hits means you have less than a 10% chance of resisting, even if you have the max cap for crowd control resist for that skill, which is 60%. This change means that your crowd control resist only has to resist the first hit, and then you're done resisting. This is essentially a buff to evasion, which is why they have nerfed evasion. From now on, evasion will only apply to damage, whereas crowd control resist will only apply to crowd control. So if you have CC resist, that'll only apply to CC. If you have evasion, that'll only apply to damage. So before, where if you evaded a number of hits from the skills, you wouldn't get CC'd either. Now if you evade, you're still going to get CC'd unless you properly resist. In addition, when hit by both a CC effect and an additional attack effect, so down attack, back attack of the same skill, only one effect suitable for that situation will be applied. For example, when using Warrior's Ground Smash on a standing enemy, Bound effect will be applied but not Down Smash. If the enemy is down on the ground, Down Smash will be applied but not Bound, and the word immune will appear on the screen. Resource consumption has also been changed to stamina consumption for Warrior's Head Chase, Ranger's Wind Step, and Kunoichi and Ninja's Ghost Step. In addition, Musa and Meiwa have had the stamina consumption of their skill Chase increased. It's been adjusted when not on cooldown. Last week, all classes had defense effects removed from some of their skills. Because of this, melee classes have had it harder, so they're changing the defense effects or crowd control effects of some ranged attack skills and movement main skills. Also, some skills that greatly influence large-scale PvP have been adjusted, such as Protected Area and Blizzard. They're also talking about upcoming changes in this patch. So the upcoming changes are mostly to Black Spirit's Rage and Black Spirit's Rage Absorption. They're looking to homogenize the Rage skills, as well as change how you accumulate Black Spirit's Rage. They're not sure how you're going to do it, but in exchange, they can make Black Spirit's Rage skills more powerful by applying a special sort of CC resistance while using it. They also want to buff Summon Beings, as while the player base is becoming stronger, Summon Beings have stayed the same, which means they're now underpowered. Because the defense effects of certain skills were removed on the May 9th balance patch, many adventurers felt that PvP battles were ending too fast. Therefore, in order to prolong PvP battles, they're reducing the PvP damage of all classes by an identical rate in an upcoming patch. They're not going to remove the Black Spirit's rage absorption, but they're going to be adding a new rage absorption that all characters share, so all classes will have the same one, that is distinct from their existing one. You can choose to use one or the other in your skills tab with K. This has not been implemented yet. They've also decided that implementing the rule that one skill cannot have both a crowd control effect and a defense effect at the same time will have to be put on hold as they continue testing to see how game balance will be affected with these changes. Finally, with this, the 4 weeks of mass PvP changes that they talked about in their letters is over. They are now going to focus on improving the individual class balance between all classes instead of just doing macro changes. From now on, it should be more micro changes to individual classes. Apart from that, the individual classes, each class has a number of changes. I won't go over all of them, but the big changes are mostly for classes that have mobility skills that they could spam. Warrior's mobility skill now has stamina consumption on it. Ranger got hit hard this week, like really hard. And evasive shot now has more stamina consumption at later levels of the skill. Sorceress didn't get hit too hard. Sorceress changes. Oops. Not to go over there. Sorry about that. Not used to using a laptop. Berserker, not too big changes over here. Tamer got almost no changes. Valkyrie was hit really hard as well, with attack damage in PvP chain decreased by 6.6%. Also a lot of stamina consumption and a few cooldown changes and super armor losses. Witch and Wizard both got hit pretty hard this week as well in PvP, well, mostly in mass PvP. The skill Absolute Blizzard has had its PvP damage reduced by 11%. Super armor effect for skill Sage's Light has been removed. Protected areas cooldown has been increased. And they've also changed how AoE skills work for Witch and Wizard for a few skills. So I'd assume Blizzard is included, but for Witch, Detonative Flow, when inflicting hits on a target, will be decreased by 5% per target, meaning the first target will receive full damage, whereas the next target would receive 5% less of the previous target. This will imply the skill inflicts hits on more than 2 targets, and the damage will be reduced down to 70% as the limit. So 7 more targets are hit. The 7th and any target after the 7th will only receive 70% of the skill's damage in PvP. Wizard has the same changes, except the skills affected are Water Sphere and Flow Aqua Bomb. Musa and Meiwa, the stamina consumption has changed from 50 to 100 during the cooldown of their chase skill, and Meiwa has also lost some invincible effects. Ninja got stamina costs on Ghost Step, as did Kunoichi, and they both had a number of individual changes as well. Dark Knight, not overly affected by changes this week. Striker got quite a few changes, whereas Mystic did not receive too many. And apart from that, there's not too many other big changes this patch. Layla's Petal and Fairy Wing items can now be exchanged for Sweet Honey Wine if you have the quest. The item description of certain magic crystals has been changed. Maid registration has been made easier. You can just register it by right-clicking now instead of having to go to your house. And apart from that, there's just a few monster changes, but nothing overly large. The big changes this week, definitely to PvP. Huge changes to how crowd control works and how evasion works in PvP. The upcoming changes are also pretty exciting. I'm not sure if they're going to be good or bad for the game, but they are coming, so we should be prepared. Anyways, guys, next week is the lawn release. Once again, sorry for my bad audio and video quality. Not working with my regular setup, but next week I'll be back from Boston and back to normal. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. These are the patch notes for the 16th of May 2018 patch. Hope you enjoyed the patch notes and have a good one. Is it finished now?